Greetings, shipmates. Welcome to another episode of Let's Make Mistakes. This morning we will be looking at the Tier 4 Langley. Again, this is a CV game that's being played in the current update 0.8.0.1 hotfix that was released yesterday. People can talk about, like we did before, the host show and the anemic damage at Tier 4, but let's have a look at it in action again and see what we can do. Our strategy is pretty much the same. Our build out is pretty much similar. We have the same amount of planes on board, we have no defensive fighter, and it's another domination game with favourable matchmaking for Tier 4, Tier 5. Let's see what we can do. So like before, controls are all the same between the US and the Japanese, there's no difference. F sends them back. R to replenish your boost if you need to. We didn't actually use any in the last game. We made this game just to get the consumable used, and you can see there I can boost to 148 and my cruising speed is 110 and I can slow down to 91 knots if I need to. Captain build on this one is 10 points and not 6 like it was on the host show, so the 4th point gives us sight stabilisation. So as we saw in the host show and we was on the run, this sight moves around. It just allows, while I'm on the bombing runs, to have a little bit more control over my gun sight. So we spotted the Acasta and the furry taco there, and we also spotted the V170. So I've committed a little bit of boost, and you notice I'm not under fire here. It does say A fire actually now, but now we spotted the V170. Just like the last game, we're going to pop in for a nice little early strike, see what we can do. 1254 is a little sting for him. And then we're going to go straight for the Clemson as well, because nothing's advanced enough to really need to keep it spotted. You can see the Clemson's got much better AA. And we've got 627 there. Now, we do have a lot of island cover here, so I'm thinking to begin with I'm going to move the CV gently up to here, because if worse we can move her around, or we can push up to support the fleet if we want to. We have more rocket planes on deck. Our early indications are that 1, 2 DDs are spotted. So we need to pay attention here, predominantly to that Acasta and the Acasta's movements, because what tends to happen a lot, and you'll see here on the map, is everyone's blobbing into one place. I don't want to allow that. I want to get us up the map. The Wakeful's smoking up, I'm not sure why. But we'll worry about that later. Unfortunately, because we don't have the defensive fighter, we can't drop it to help them off with any defensive capabilities there. But what we can do is spot stuff. Now, this is not a favourable attack angle on the Acasta for the bow one. We do want, like we did before, those nice broadsides. As you can see there, we got 1 incapacitation for 0 damage. So let's have a look at what way the Acasta is going to turn before we get another rocket attack on her. Now, she's going for smoke. I think she's going to smoke because she's damaged. Let's see if we can do any more damage, finish her off. We've done nothing. Absolutely nothing there. 2 runs for Naffle. Now, we've got 4, so I'm going to send them straight back up because she's wounded. At least I was hoping to get up there before the Wakeful went round the corner and just provide some support. As you'll see, the squadron's not full. So that's going to give me 1 run. I think it's going to give me 1 run of 3 planes and then 1 of 1. So we're going to have to try and help out this Wakeful very quickly. Now we do have the broadside of the Acasta this time. Oh, look at that. I was literally about to press the fire button when she was detonated. So we're going to pull out of that bombing run. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to send them back to the aircraft carrier. So what that means now is, because I've got 6 on deck, that whole squadron is going to come back and replenish, and that'll give me a full squadron now, and we can look at dealing with that Podolski shortly. But for now I'm going to come up here and just help spot for this Wakeful. Maybe we'll torpedo the Iron Duke, or maybe we'll even torpedo that Langley if the opportunity arises, but at worst we can provide spotting for our team up there. Now we've been out for 2 strikes, 3 rockets, 1800 damage so far, which isn't perfect. But I am being mindful of that Podolski. I think, to be honest, even though we're up, we may have to send these back and get the rockets up, otherwise we're going to get in trouble with those DDs shortly. That Langley is not moving though. Is he? No, he's not. Well, we're going to go straight in on him. We'll see if we can get a torpedo into his bow, because we might be able to get a flood off of that. That's not very often you see one parked there. I don't know if that's going to hit. I'm going to send them back, and then we're going to get the rockets up and head over to these DDs. So they got a Revolution over there and a Kuma, but that Podolsky, see, he's going straight past. He's not interested in the cap. He's only going for the CV. So let's go and have a look for the Clemson instead. There's a smoke cloud that's just on the horizon there. Be nice to find something we could get involved in, and we can. Here's the Clemson. Now we know he's got strong AA because we've seen it in action already. But what we don't have here is a favourable attack angle, so we're going to have to change that a bit. At worst, what I'm going to do is drop one lot of rockets on him, and then just keep him spotted so that my team can shoot him down instead. Right, so instead of committing now, because if I do that, that is a gun anyway, but I was just going to fly around him for a little while just to ensure that they had eyes on him and they could finish him off. But as he's down, we'll turn around, we'll have a run at this Kirov because it's a nice big cruiser. Rockets tend to do a little bit more to cruisers. Now we want superstructure. 1932, that's okay. Now I'm going to bring my CV up closer. I'm going to bring it up to there. And then I'm going to take off. These got HE dive bombers on board, by the way. So let's go and have a look at those. See if we can start a fire on that Kirov. Airborne. He might be gone by. Oh, planes are. That's a bug, by the way. They don't always do as they're commanded. So what you have to do there is just come off the way you're steering. I was holding the A key there, and then they should correct themselves and come back. It looks like we're not going to get a chance of that Kirov either, because he's going to be a goner shortly. So yeah, let's move up the map then to maybe to the Iron Duke. Let's keep our CV moving forwards, so we can get ourselves a bit closer to the action, so we can feel that we're actually in this game. I'm using all my boost here, you'll see, on the left, just to try and get up to the fight as quick as possible while there is a fight. That's now expired, so if I press the R key, that will replenish the whole bar immediately and we can reuse it again, so I'm going to do that. I don't know how often we're going to get out with HE bombers, but we might get 1 or 2 runs out of these. So I'm going to start off his nose. We're going to dive in low, drop at the last second, straight in the middle of the boat, and wonder why we bothered. 2 non-penetrations. That's with HE bombs, so we've got no fires, no penetrations. We have wandered into the AA of the CV there, so we're going to lose that squadron. We'll try again with some torpedoes instead. Non-penetrations. Maintaining present course. That's a tier 5 battleship. If these boats actively hunt at this tier, and by hunt I mean if they come after me and they just drive at me, then you've got no chance of bringing them to their knees in time. It just won't happen. You just don't do enough damage. So the Iron Duke, he's 6 kilometres out, so I'm going to start my run around 5 kilometres. That should be enough. I'm just going to check my timers, hope I didn't get this too far wrong. Right, 7 seconds. So we could have run in closer. I'm going to send that one because he's not moving very quickly. So we need to start run closer. That's a slight difference between the US, and what you do have is you have longer on your bombing runs is an option for one of your consumables. We're taking a lot of fire again, so same things, just changing my throttle, playing with that a little bit, just to try and bring them into line, come down on the run. The player's not very healthy here, so we might not get this away, but we're going to try at least. No, and we've lost her. For 1 torpedo we managed so far. Let's try again with the HE bombers, if there's anything left to drop by the time we get there. Maintaining present course. It doesn't look like there's going to be. What else is left to try and drop? The Kaiser, is the CV there? Yeah, we can keep her moving up. Autopilot mode enabled. Let's just push all the way up to there. Taking fire. Be nice and aggressive. Are those torpedoes going to hit? Yes, they are. So what have we got? We got a Kaiser we could drop, a V170 and a Langley. We could try and drop the DD. It looks like his engine's gone, so there is an opportunity to try. Trying to drop DDs is very, very difficult. But if they're not moving, I get a feeling that might make life a little bit easier. Because he's not moving now, I think we've left this a little bit too late. But we did get a fire. Not again for a lot of damage. See, these are the ones you're supposed to be able to do the damage to. Get the fires on the battleships. It's not an AP bomb. So we get in there nice and close. Finally a fire. And 4,800 damage. Now, there wasn't a lot of difference there from what we did before. They're goners. What have we got left? Nothing, because that is the end of the game, and that one's finished pretty quickly. That one was done in 10 minutes. Damage is, again, very, very lethargic. I know it's not big at these numbers, but 14,000 and a 10-minute battle. Was it 10 minutes? So we managed one torpedo hit, some rocket hits, but they were being made pretty easy for us. Very, very limited damage, very little impact on the game. Really didn't feel like I was actually involved too much in it, other than the spotting part at the start. Yeah, nothing that's really worth writing home about there. Oh, I didn't really need the credits and XP, did we? I wanted here just to see where we lost our planes. To the Iron Duke. Langley took a few, that was to be expected. But a 10-minute battle. Not very exciting. Well, go and have a look in port and I'll show you the same things. So our captain build for this is 10 points, similar to the last build we had on the Ho show. This guy was just knocking around, so on he went. We have improved engine boost. However, for the US line, because the torpedoes are so slow, we take torpedo acceleration. It does shorten the range, but increases the speed, because otherwise it's very difficult to land. Again, survivability expert as opposed to aircraft armour, but tier 6 that's more prevalent, and that one had sight stabilisation, so it just allowed me to manoeuvre the planes a little bit more without the stabilisation sight moving around too much. The ship's modules, they're going to be exactly the same. Air groups modification 1 and aircraft engines modifications, because there's nothing else to choose. The B-hull. There are no consumables and no fighters at tier 4. And that is the tier 4 Langley. Thank you very much for watching. Until we sync again, I've been Bravadoh. Please like and subscribe and comment to the video below. Thank you for taking the time to watch.